to take a look back at one of Alabama's all-time great gymnasts, Dee Foster. He was a member of the U.S. national team and went on to become the first black female scholarship athlete in Alabama history. During her college career, she set an NCAA record with perfect 10s in 5 consecutive meets and was the 1990 NCAA All-Around Champion. Now, Dee was also a teammate of Alabama head coach Dana Duckworth, herself an NCAA beam champion a few years ago. Kathy talked to Dana earlier in the week about finding the right balance of risk-reward in her lineups so the team can be at its best for postseason.
You mentioned early this season that you wanted to be aggressive with certain routines and lineups, like competing all 10-0 start values. How has that played out, and do you plan to continue being aggressive on that risk-reward scale?
We have several regular season meets left. We're really trying to hone in on the details as who's going to start, who's going to finish, and who's the most consistent to put the best opportunity out there for the team to be at its best, to score the best, and have fun doing it. The exciting piece for this team is on all 4 events, we have gone over a 49.5 on all of them. And the goal is to now hit all 4 of those on the same night. So I really see this love and passion and doing it for her and the unity, the discipline, the mental toughness paying off at this point. So I feel like they really have a self-motivation that's happening. They're tired, they have sore, they have bumps, but they are continuing to work the next 10th and be hungry doing it.
You had an incredible postseason last year. What's your game plan and the team mindset moving forward to finish this season, perhaps even stronger than last year?
The mindset is really to take every day at the absolute 100% of what you have in that given day and to have no regrets. You cannot hold back. And the ladies have been really, even in their own conversations and team chats, been literally about being aggressive, being hungry, and being humble and harvesting great things.
And after the break, Alabama heads to the vault, and we'll just see how many 10-0 start values the Tide can bring as we move to rotation 2 here at the BMAC. It's a great night of gymnastics. We're glad you've tuned in. Alabama get us started at 6 Eastern. Then it's number 7 Auburn hosting number 10 Kentucky. Wrap up the night, the Georgia Gin Dogs at the barn in Fayetteville to take on the 16th ranked Arkansas. We expected a close one tonight. It's a packed house here at the PMAC, over 13,000 on hand to see this great battle between these 2 SEC rivals, and they're separated by just 0.2 of a point. LSU with a 49.5. That's a 9.9 average on vault in the first rotation. Alabama with a 49.3. So that brings up Shalyn Olson. We've seen some great vaulting. Well, she herself has been a finalist at the Olympics, Worlds on this event. She is impressive, Kathy. One of the toughest vaults being done in college.
And what a great coaching move to put her in the lead-off position. She vaults better going first. She does the most difficult vault. Double twist. Wow, almost got that landing. Really good distance from the table. She is worked so hard on cleaning up the form on that very difficult vault. So nice to see.
Over on the bars, it's Kaya Johnson, who is just having a spectacular year. 9.9 or better on every event so far, and a perfect 10 on the floor this year.
And she's been in this lead-off position on bars for a while now. She's so comfortable here, so aggressive, hits all her marks. Slight variation on the first transition, but very minor deduction there. So aggressive going after that last handstand. Sets up the dismount, hits a big one, double layout. Gorgeous shape in that laid out position, and lands with the chest up so high. Great control. I really love, having watched Jay since he was the assistant coach here, when he came in, he brought such calm organization to their bar, training and in competition, and they have just improved every single year.
9.9 was Shalyn Olson's score. That brings up Kaylee Quinn.
This is an important vault, 1.5 twist. really nicely done. Good to see her handle that pressure in competition. As we talked to Dana, she's really trying to push those 10-0 start value vaults, wants all 6 of them to be able to maximize on that risk-reward equation and gain that benefit.
Quinn, the senior from New Jersey, 3 times in the lineup on vault for Alabama this year with a season high of 9.825. Ty Rivers now on the bars, coming after Kaya Johnson. A season high 9.9. Once again, Kaya Johnson delivering.
And as Jay describes Kai, she is the heart of this team. He calls her their alpha. Having her back healthy, competing in these lineups, doesn't just bring stability, but just passion and heart. No hand to the Maloney. Transitions to the Indian. That's the slight break.
Very aggressive though, wasn't it?
Catch up at the end of the routine. Nice to see a single ball release. Just a little added difficult. Wow! Look at her shoes like a dart into the ground, just perfectly straight. I think she probably jarred herself a little bit. Some of those perfect stuck landings hurt. This is the only place they're going to have to deduct. Slightly more than we've seen, but wow, way to finish strong.
It's a young lady who's recovered from an Achilles rupture and shoulder labrum surgery.
She's had it all.
That's just great, but she's finally being able to work into the lineup and make significant contributions for LSU. Jordan Paradise, you see her ball average there. Haley Quinn, the season high 9.85 before her.
A lot of speed, 1.5 twist again. Slight side shuffle after the landing. They'll deduct for the hop and being slightly off center.
There's another full day of college basketball tomorrow on ESPN and the app, including with 3 great games. At 6 Eastern, Paulo Banchero and the number 9 Duke host Florida State. Then number 6 Kansas is in Morgantown facing West Virginia. Finally at 10 Eastern, Oregon heads to number 3 Arizona in our West Coast primetime game. Score for Kai Rivers for LSU on the bars. A 9.875 after Kaya Johnson led them off with a 9.9. Here is sophomore Olivia Dunn.
She has been putting in the extra work on this routine, trying to clean up everything. Striving for perfectly straight legs. Nice hip handstand, right into a Tapata, top salto, moving really smoothly. Nice job on the half pivot and the low bar. Now here's the one thing she has worked the hardest on. This double layup, trying to get those legs up and keep them straight all the way around. Very, very strong routine. The judges look for height and distance on these single bar release moves. You want to have arms outstretched when you regress the bar. Well done.
Maddie Wellagora will be next up for Alabama. You see the scores there. Jordan Paradise came in with a 9.85 as well. Alabama trailing slightly behind LSU in this team competition.
Watch her set. It's what we call that after the block off the table. There's a slight pause before she twists. Really sets it up beautifully to get the amplitude. This doesn't help. Everything was just a little rushed. From right off the board, just it truncates everything when you get slightly ahead of yourself, because then you can't use your full speed, the full technique. Notice the angle in her shoulders as she made contact with the table. It's impossible to then push and block all the way through the shoulders and get the rotation.
Alabama has a very deep team. They rested her last week against North Carolina and Western Michigan, but unfortunately not what they wanted there. LSU on the bars now. Haley Bryan. Nikki Dunn had a 9.8.
Watch the swing in this routine. Big swing, nice handstand position. Beautiful amplitude on that straddle Jaeger. Slightly rushed on that barrel handstand, but nothing major. nice final handstand. Now check this dismount out. It's a double front with a half twist.
Oh.
Oh, just 1 foot scooting over the ground. Couldn't go keep it down on the mat, but that was a beautiful routine.
She added that half twist this year, which is actually making it more difficult, but ironically easier to land, isn't it?
Much easier. You can spot the landing. Look at the height. Almost 2 feet above the bar. Keeps good form throughout. Really milks those handstand positions.
Pressure on Alabama now, just like they had on the bars after a fall. They are going to rely on Lexi Graber and Lily Hudson, hopefully, to get 2 stump vaults here, or close.
This is the one who can handle the pressure with a big fall. Really should have nailed it.
That was like a dart going into a dartboard. That was unreal. Even she's like, wow, that's pretty good.
It was so nice to see her just hold those feet out, because sometimes you want to rush, put your feet on the ground and try to stick too soon. She blocks, she gets good height, good distance, and opens those arms out and keeps reaching with those feet. Got a few extra inches, and that kept her from over-rotating.
What a clutch performance from the graduate senior. 9.925, by the way, was the score for LSU's Haley Bryant on bars. And that brings us over to Elena Arenas. Sam has more.
This is her very first time competing on bars for the LSU Tigers. Coaches say she worked really hard with the consistency in the fall, and I was at practice yesterday. She was spot on hitting every handstand.
She was spot on, Sam, but in the warm-up, she got a little panicky. Hopefully, she settled down. It was on that skill she missed in the final touch warm-up, but she saved it. This leg separation that they'll have to get for, but good for her to calm herself down. See, she got the landing on her double back. Oh, slung it out. Just missed her release point. When you release too soon and you don't take full advantage of that tap, you get those legs up, you're not going to rotate enough. Oh, too bad.
Lily Hudson will be the final vaulter for Alabama. Lexi Graber scores in. It's a 9.975, meaning one of the 2 judges gave her a 10, the other a 9.95. Sam?
Head coach Dana Duckworth told us on the coaches call that if they had a mistake in their lineup, Lily Hudson was going to do a full. But I just checked in, and she said, we're going for it. We're doing the 1.5. It looks great in warm-up.
I think it's a good call. She pulled us around. 1.5
Yeah. Good for her.
Great job. You got to be bold, and I'm glad they went for it. She needs that experience in that position, throwing the more difficult 1.5, knowing your coach believes in you. Whoa, boy, she was on the back end of that board, on the very right onto that yellow mat, but she pulled it off. Good for her.
Lily Hudson, the freshman, one time in the all-around this year. Dana Duckworth, as we said, she's trying to find the right combination of risk versus reward in terms of going for more difficulty. And of course, Lexi Graber came up with a big score, and Lily Hudson scores in now. It's a 9.875 for her. So Alabama does get 5 hit vaults, and they'll be able to replace that low score of 9.35. Sammy Durrani will be the final performer on the bars for LSU. Had a little bit of a hiccup there with Elena Arenas, and so with LSU, who had a slight weak coming into this rotation, they need a big routine, and Sammy Durrani is the one you can count on typically.
Absolutely. She started her collegiate career as the leadoff performer on the uneven bars, and I'll never forget her very first routine in college gymnastics, and we both, it was like I needed a seatbelt. She attacks this routine with reckless abandon, and it is just all gas, no brakes, goes after it. Side leg separation on that top salto. But check this out, she is uncanny in her ability to find these landings It's a full TC, double back. Watch her spot the ground and holds on to it. Well done.
Jay Clark is well known for over 30 years of being a specialist in coaching teams on the bars, and boy, he's got a good one here, doesn't he?
And watch her look for this landing. She normally is a little bit more upright, but I love the way she can make those slight little corrections to still get the stick.
Gymnastics enthusiasts will remember her mom, Dana Durante, former national team member, national champion, and former coach at Georgia.
And now head coach for UNC. So great to see her leading that program as well. So
Sammy, a graduate student, accepting that additional year offered because of COVID and doing her part, because they had to replace a 9-3-5 for LSU on the bars, so they get 5 hit routines. Let's go down to Sam. She's with Dana Duckworth.
Thanks, Bart. On our coach's call, you told us that if there was a mistake in the lineup, you were going to have Lily Hudson do the full. What made you change your mind?
We had a very specific goal on vault tonight. It was to be bigger and to have less deductions in our landings. And so, you know, after the fall, Lily had warmed up so well, and we wanted to get her that experience. And so just to trust herself, and she did a great job, and so we just went for it, and I'm so pleased. It's a great confidence builder for the vault team and for us moving into the next rotation.
Thanks, Dana.
Roll Tide.
All right, we have a good one. These two teams separated just by 0.2 of a point. And how about this highlight here for Lexi Graver, 9.975. That is a landing.